Beijing issues a white paper on the persistent fight to safeguard national security in Hong Kong. A woman is arrested in Tuen Mun on suspicion of killing her husband with a stainless steel cooking pot. And some athletes at Milan Cortina Winter Olympics find their hard-earned medals snapped off as investigations underway. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Beijing has released a white paper on safeguarding national security in Hong Kong under one country, two systems. It sets out the responsibilities of the central and SAR governments, stressing that protecting national security is a persistent struggle. The paper reviews the city's experience in safeguarding national security, noting global changes and challenges, saying that protecting national security is an ongoing task, never fully completes. Divided into 5 sections, one chapter highlights the central government's fundamental responsibility for Hong Kong's security. In response to the unrest over the extradition bill, Beijing strengthened the SAR's legal and enforcement framework, improved the electoral system, and restored order. The SAR government is also required to fulfill its constitutional duty. Executive, legislative, and judicial bodies must continue to refine local laws to prevent, stop, and punish acts that endanger national security. As of January this year, 98 people have been prosecuted under the national security law, with 78 convictions. A spokesperson for the State Council's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office said the 17-page white paper demonstrates the national security law is a milestone in the practice of one country, two systems. The principle of patriots governing Hong Kong has also been fully implemented. The document credited the SAR government's extraordinary achievements in propelling the city into a new stage, as well as the efforts to beef up national security education. Hong Kong, enjoying high-standard security, is bound to overcome all risks and challenges on the journey forward and remain as steady as a rock in a turbulent world, the paper concluded. Chief Executive John Lee welcomed Beijing's new white paper on national security practices in Hong Kong, calling it highly significant and timely with strong guiding value for the SAR. Cheryl Yun reports.
Speaking to reporters before the Executive Council meeting, Lee said the SAR government fully supports the white paper and will implement its requirements accordingly. As the head of the SAR, I will lead and coordinate the executive authorities, the legislature and the judiciary to fulfill our responsibilities to safeguard national security, he said. Lee stressed that the white paper serves as a reminder that the struggle to protect national security is ongoing, urging constant vigilance against risks while sending a stern warning to those who betray the country and Hong Kong. He directly linked the document's release to the 20-year jail term handed down to former media tycoon Jimmy Lai for collusion with foreign forces and other national security offenses.
A heavy punishment that sends a solemn warning against malicious plots of collusion with external elements and endangering national security. Lai has committed numerous heinous crimes, and his evil deeds were beyond measure. The heavy sentence of 20 years imposed on him manifests that the rule of law is upheld and justice is done.
Asked whether authorities would review Lai's sentence, Lee replied that police and the Department of Justice would carefully study the court's judgment before deciding on any next steps. He reaffirmed the government's unwavering commitment to defending national security. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The diplomatic tensions follow the sentencing of former media tycoon Jimmy Lai, with Washington denouncing the verdict as unjust and Beijing lashing out at the UK manipulation of the British National Overseas Visa Scheme. Anna Chen has the details.
Responding to the 20-year prison sentence handed out to Lai, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said in a statement that it is an unjust and tragic conclusion to the national security case. It shows the world that Beijing will go to extraordinary lengths to silence those who advocate fundamental freedoms in Hong Kong, casting aside the international commitments Beijing made in the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration. Rubio also urged the authorities to grant the 78-year-old humanitarian parole. Following life sentencing, UK Home Office announced on Monday to expand BNO visa scheme to allow children of BNO status holders to apply for the route independently of their parents. China's embassy in London criticized the move as despicable and reprehensible, misleading Hong Kong residents to leave their homes only to face discrimination and hardship in the UK, living as second-class citizens. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the Foreign Ministry reiterated its stance to strongly oppose any malicious smears against Hong Kong's rule of law and interference in China's internal affairs by some countries or institutions, and has lodged complaints accordingly. Anna Chen, Cable News.
A 51-year-old woman has been arrested for allegedly murdering her 63-year-old husband with a cooking pot in their Tuen Mun village house. Police attribute the killing to long-simmering martial discord and financial despair. Quentin Yang reports.
Police believe the alleged murder occurred in the early hours of Monday morning at a village house in Tantao Chun Cun near Sansao Street. Officers were called last night after the 24-year-old daughter discovered the man motionless on a bed with visible head wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators recovered a potential murder weapon in the room, a stainless steel cooking pot, roughly 19 centimeters in diameter. The victim's unemployed wife is being held on a pending murder charge. The force revealed that the suspect has no known psychiatric record, but both she and the deceased were said to suffer from chronic illnesses and to have endured long-standing marital tension and financial stress. A post-mortem examination is scheduled to confirm the exact cause of death, and the Tuen Mun District Crime Squad is continuing inquiries into the case. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
The chief executive in council has accepted the revised statutory minimum wage to $43.10 per hour. Under the new annual review mechanism, the Minimum Wage Commission has recommended raising the rate from the current $42.10 per hour to $43.10. The government will publish the Minimum Wage Ordinance Notice 2026 in the Gazette next Friday and table it in the Legislative Council on February 25th. Subject to the approval, the revised rate will come into force on May 1st this year. Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun said the recommended rate is in line with the policy objectives to maintain an appropriate balance between forestalling excessively low wages and minimizing the loss of low-paid jobs, while giving due regard to sustaining Hong Kong's economic growth and competitiveness. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is fighting for his political life, defying mounting pressure to resign over his government's entanglement in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Quentin Yang has the story.
Prime Minister, your message to the country tonight?
Starmer left his residence at Downing Street Monday evening. He was on his way to a meeting with lawmakers from his ruling Labour Party in the Parliament, where the leader told more than 400 fellow lawmakers that he would not walk away from the voters' mandate, vowing not to plunge the country into fresh chaos and insisting he has won every fight he has ever been in. His speech drew overwhelming applause. Several senior ministers quickly rallied behind him, including Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy, Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper, and Finance Minister Rachel Reeves. Even potential successors, such as Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood and left-wing figurehead Angela Rayner, expressed full support. The show of unity followed a string of resignations inside Downing Street, including Starmer's Chief of Staff and Communications Director, after the release of Epstein's files dragged the administration into turmoil over former UK Ambassador Peter Mandelson's links to the late sex offender. However, Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar has become the most senior party figure to demand a change at the top, citing the upcoming Scottish Parliament election in May.
That's why the distraction needs to end and the leadership in Downing Street has to change.
Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Britain's King Charles III said the Buckingham Palace stands ready to assist with police as they consider allegations against his brother Andrew Mountbatten Windsor in relation to the Epstein scandal. Cheryl Yun reports.
Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and Epstein?
King Charles did not address the question during his Lancashire visit, but Buckingham Palace later issued a statement saying the king has shown profound concern at the continuing allegations against Mountbatten Windsor through both words and unprecedented actions. The statement added that while the specific claims in question are for Mountbatten Windsor to address, the palace stands ready to support investigations. It also reaffirmed Charles and Queen Camilla's deep sympathy for all victims of abuse. Kensington Palace echoed the sentiment in its own statement, with the Prince and Princess of Wales expressing serious concern over the latest released Epstein documents and reiterating their focus on supporting victims. Thames Valley Police said they are currently assessing evidence following a complaint alleging potential misconduct in public office and breaches of official secrets during Mountbatten Windsor's time as UK trade envoy from 2001 to 2011. Newly released 2010 emails appear to show Mountbatten Windsor forwarding his official itineraries and visit reports, including trips to Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam, and other Asian destinations, to Epstein shortly after receiving them, potentially including sensitive trade and investment information. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer BYD has filed a lawsuit against the United States government, seeking the refund of tariffs. It marks the first time a mainland carmaker challenging American duties in court. Court documents reveal that on the 26th of last month, 4 U.S. subsidiaries of BYD filed a case with the U.S. Court of International Trade. The filing adopts a legal argument similar to that used by other multinational corporations, stating that the text of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act invoked by U.S. President Donald Trump does not mention tariffs or equivalent terms. The law, they argue, does not authorize the imposition of border duties. BYD emphasized that in order to safeguard its legal rights, it was compelled to submit an independent claim. This ensures that, should the court rule against the government, the company retains the right to recover taxes already paid. The company does not sell private passenger cars in the United States. Its local operations involve commercial vehicles, batteries, energy storage systems, and solar panels, and employs 750 staff at its factory in California. Already, more than 1,000 corporate entities are suing for refunds for duties that the U.S. has collected so far. And Trump has said that being forced to pay refunds would be a national security catastrophe. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 155 points. Top active stocks of the day: Tencent was down $9. Alibaba was up $2.60. PopMart was up $12.60. And Xiaomi was up 38 cents. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy, visibility relatively low in some areas at first tomorrow. The minimum temperature will be about 18 degrees. Warm with sunny periods during the day. The maximum temperature will be around 24 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Chu. Thanks for watching and good night.